way Nova MS can slow them down or even stop them.
Well, can't spell Nova without no, so there's your answer. I will make this fair though. No, it is going to be very competitive. It should be. Patapan out on the Reaper first, Pudo with the Mei as you'd expect. Both teams doing the research here. It is mecha base, and look, could be a good one for a Reaper.
Yeah, this is a bit of an interesting one. We actually saw some Reapers come out yesterday, not really to great effect, but it's something all these teams are opting into, so they've clearly found a way to make it work. They've also found a way to shut it down if you are Gagora, so with that, they are sitting pretty in the start of this first fight, looking to rotate back onto the point, maybe get an extra kill on the way. That's going to be Talon starting with the cap.
And it should be easy, but also very difficult to take down a Reaper right at the beginning, because Reaper's got a lot of self-defense now. However, if you've got a good Roadhog, someone like Gagora that can instantly pull Kerberos in, that's going to land you a 6v5. It's going to land you an early cap as well, and Nova MS already trailing.
They have made a reasonable rotation towards this point. No early deaths, not taking too much spam damage, but they also don't have a lot going for them necessarily. And there you go, there's a pick in the rotation, and it feels like that's kind of how a lot of these fights are, right? It's only a matter of time until something breaks for Nova MS on the way to the fight, and this has kind of been no exception here. The question really is how many kills do Talon end up getting?
And at about 11%, Yeomon wants to break everything with the EMP. That's what's the game plan so far. Nova MS 3 fights in will finally have a big ultimate. Talon need to be worried about this one. There's not going to be a sound barrier just yet. You have Patapan on the Reaper, and traditionally that's been a decent pick versus EMP. Functionality of the Reaper is still great when hacked out, so Talon can still get a lot done, but they need to be spreading.
There he goes, committed out. Kerberos gets a nice early kill onto Muse. That's exactly what they're looking for, but Mango Jai just pumping the healing into Gagora, allows him to finish off Kerberos. They put so much into trying to kill Gagora, and it didn't work. Now that everyone's unhacked, the Blizzard came out from Apudo to keep people locked out and sort of stuck around the edges of the point if they really wanted to stay alive in the fight, and that just leaves them scattered and easy pickings for Talon.
And sometimes you got to work with what you've been given here. If you're Talon Esports, what you've been given as a Coalescence, you don't have another support ultimate. You've got a Moira, you got this one ult, so you're going to use it. Mango Jai avoids the EMP, comes with a Coalescence. It's just enough healing to keep most of the team alive. And Nova even got an early kill to Muse. Like you said, then tried to go on Gagora unsuccessfully. Talon survived that one and then came in with the counter attack, still holding on to the point, 90% plus.
This is a good spot for Talon to be in. Very early Coalescence out of in. They know that this is their last fight. Good catch on Patapan as well. He ends up in the minefield. Can't just shift his way through that, but trade it out now. Ting does go down. Kerberos going to be looking in somewhere for a Death Blossom, and the kill's starting to come out both sides of the fence now. It's going to be a very scrappy fight towards the end.
Sound barrier?
That is a really nice Coalescence to force Yeom1 out as the sound barrier came in, and it means the sound barrier only ended up on Red Fox. Piggy going to get demeched out here. The Death Blossom actually comes out from Patapan, largely cancelled by the EMP, but Yeom1 trades his life for that, and it's looking like Talon have surely weathered the worst of it with only a Ting on the point with a scrap of health. It's going to be 100-0 on Mecha Base.
Kerberos a little late to the party here, knocks on the door. Everyone's already asleep. It's like, hey, what are you doing, man? This is too late for you, buddy. Death Blossom. Not going to be too useful here. Death Blossom not going to be too useful in general either. You saw the EMP coming in. Yeom1 caught Patapan, knocks that one clean out. Red Fog sound barrier is only herself, sadly. So Nova MS trailing behind a decent amount in terms of objective. Couldn't get enough done there. Didn't have enough ultimates. Nice early pick that you saw from Apudo right at the beginning onto Red Fox, giving you that 6v5, and this is exactly how Talon get that start.
One thing I kind of liked about this team comp as well, just with regards to the EMP, touched on it with Reaper, but Mei also has a little bit of self-sustain because you're still left-clicking, you're still freezing people, and it just gives you some options where a lot of characters kind of have none. At any rate, though, it's going to be a shift in gear for both teams here. Talon going to go on the double flankers.
I'll see what Nova can do with the Red Fox this time on the Batiste instead, another character that we've seen now really creeping its way in as a viable main support with the buffs that we've had on this particular patch.
Just poking for now. Yeom1 on this Hanzo really sort of flexed his chops yesterday. We'll have to see if they can pull off a repeat performance, but so far the story's been Muse and Patapan, these dive tanks and DPSs of Talon just getting right up in Nova MS's business, and now it's an absolute wash. Once again, Talon are going to be starting out with the cap.
So last time we did see Tracer and Summer being played as a DPS duo, the other team responded with a Brigitte as a support. Now something you have to remember here is if Brigitte gets played, the support changes haven't come into effect for Brigitte, so she's still the same old Brigitte in a 2 support only kind of meta. it's a little iffy right now. Red Fox is instead going to go for the Lucio instead, see how we can do with the survivability there. Yeon1's going to go on to the McCree. This is going to give them the ability to stop at least some flankers.
Yeah, I really like the extra crowd control option that McCree is going to bring to the table here. Means that Patapad and Abudo can't just be too gung-ho about things. We sort of saw that coming out there, but now the flashbang is down. Patapad knows he can just press back in. Does not quite connect with the pulse bomb, and this has become a bit of an awkward scrap between the two. Patapad decides, you know what, there's better uses of my time here. And this is also time accumulated for Talon as Nova MS finally approaches the point, get the Blizzard out as soon as Kerberos goes down as well.
And last week, Yeon1 hit every single shot into Patapad. This week, he can't touch him at all. Except for now, Patapad still makes it out alive, and Yeon1 pays for it with his life.
Yeah, barely gives him the slip there, and Yeon1's going to be kicking himself for not landing that headshot after getting the flashbang out on that Tracer. Now a nice stall here on Piggy, just helps expand that percentage, and speaking of percentage, already on 60% are Talon.
And I believe he was pocketed by Kagora's DM there, so Talon able to keep their players alive, keeping that eco going as well. As you do now see Apudo up and ready with that EMP, Nova MS working their way back to the point. 70% is what they are currently trailing, and well, last time on Mecha Base, well, they were trailing by quite a decent amount. They just couldn't quite come back.
The CMP could honestly be pretty brutal. Neither Red Fox nor Inen actually have a great tool against it. Supercharger going down early from a ting. It actually does give Apudo some pause, but they can also just wait it out.
It's very difficult for Nova MS to be able to push with a supercharge. I mean, they're still able to get some distance there, but here comes Apudo.
The Ice Wall did actually block a little bit of the line of sight. That's why you saw Red Fox and Inen weren't actually EMP'd, but unfortunately Red Fox still went down. Inen does at least have the Coalescence, but that's now about to end, and unfortunately they don't get much out of that. Or the Dead Eye, the self-destruct, forcing Yeon1 to step back before getting the final shot on Patapad, and now Muse able to turn around, run him down. It's looking like we're going to have a second 100-0 shutout at the rate of this fight with how it's going. And it's all just style points for Talon now. Sound barrier from Red Fox to keep the remaining three members in the fight and see if they can actually get anything done with that extra health. It's looking like the answer will be a big fat can't spell Nova without no.
And as an equation, N would be the possible number of maps that Talon can win to a 0. So that would be the 3 and 0 that I've written down here.
N equals over, which is what that map now is.
Oh, it was a tough one. 200-0 is a difficult start for the side of Nova MS. And look, to give them a chance here, you want to start thinking about, okay, where do we like things coming out of Nova MS and what's not working so well? The latter of that is easy to answer. The sort of former is a bit more challenging because so far, okay, we saw a few different picks come through. Reaper, I'm going to say, to be fair, Reaper didn't look good on either side. Patapad kind of made Reaper okay. Kerberos didn't really make Reaper look like too much at all. I'm going to say that in this current meta, despite Overwatch League running a lot more Reaper than they used to, a little bit more than 0 is still a lot more, I guess, but it's not the
marginal difference, right?
It's not a huge impact in the game so far. So I'm not gonna. There's nothing really too much to look at there. I don't think it's a particularly great pick. But the Sombra Trace coming on Talon very early on. See the flank pressure. Even the response by Yeon1 onto the McCree flashbang sadly weren't really hitting. When they did hit, the protection was there from the rest of the team for Talon to keep Patapad safe, keeping Apudo safe, keeping the point rolling, keeping the kills coming as well. You can see how much impact everybody had. You saw that Muse was holding his breath when he forced out the Deadeye, but then still managed to get away with his life.
Yeah.
No kills coming out of Yeon1 there. Still no unfortunate real DPS pressure from the side of Nova that we kind of expected to see based on how they've been playing, not just against Greenleaves, where a lot of that carried them to victory, but also the last time they played Talon, and Yeon1 and Kerberos came out banging. This time around, it's a little quiet.
And one of the things we actually haven't really talked about with the shift into 2-2-2 lock, right? Like, it's not just that it's like removed goats from the meta, it's also removed a couple of other things. And the reason I want to mention that is because this isn't actually the first time we've seen the likes of especially Talon running multiple flank heroes. They tend to have run Sombra and Tracer together at times. And the answer to that has been what we've called sort of the bash bang combo, where you've still got a Brigida in the mix there with your two other supports, and you're also running a McCree. The double up on the crowd control exerts a lot more pressure on the two flankers. Now, look, Apudo and Patapad are still great players. They still often find a lot of value there, but it feels a lot more one-to-one in terms of who might get the better of the matchup. In this instance, McCree still feels like the right answer because you have some crowd control rather than not, but you're in inherently outnumbered trying to play whack-a-mole against two members who are far more mobile than you, and you've only got one flashbang.
And to be fair, if you just catch one member, that's already kind of jobbed up,
yeah.
because that's going to give you a pick. However, they couldn't even get that one member because Kogora's a little bit too quick on his own trigger fingers in terms of protection. I'm still 50-50 on whether Red Fox should have gone on the Brigida or not. They would have to force a certain play style that may have not worked for them either. A lot more questions still to be answered. 2 points so far for Talon, awarding them a 1-map lead victory. Next map coming out will be on the Assault game mode, so let's go ahead and check that out.
Welcome to Hanamura. This is Assault. Two teams face off as either defenders or attackers. The attacking team has a limited amount of time to capture two objectives. First A, and then B. To capture an objective, the attackers need to stand within its range for a set amount of time. Defenders can delay capture progress by also standing in range. To resume capture, the attackers must force the defenders off the objective by any means necessary. If successful, they score 1 point and gain additional time on the clock. Now the fight moves to objective B. If even one attacker is on an objective when the clock runs out, the game enters overtime. This extends play indefinitely until either team is cleared away. The round ends when the attackers capture both objectives or when time runs out. Teams switch sides each round. Whichever team scores the most points wins.
Nova choosing the map this time around. Volskaya Industries has been selected, and this was one of their maps yesterday as well. And look, saw some great plays. This is where you can go into Widowmakers. This is where you can go into Hanzo's as well. Talon being the favorites here, and we did talk a little about how probably they're not going to be really choosing maps. Part of the mind game here is also, what are Nova going to be playing? What are we expecting them to be picking? What are they possibly going to be good on? This is probably going to be one of those picks, and you'll probably think about Volskaya as, especially based on last night's performance, as being one of those maps that they probably would want to go to. Hollywood, I would say, is probably another map as well.
I do have to offer a bit of a correction. They played Temple of Anubis yesterday. It was against Greenleaves, and they weren't able, I believe, to cap point A.
B. A or
B? They didn't cap A. They didn't cap A, I'm pretty sure is what it was.
The point is...
This is now... there we go. There we go. Yeah, so it was Temple of Anubis. They weren't able to cap A.
The point is, in the alternate universe...
In the alternate universe where they played Volskaya Industries and still didn't cap A...
Look, the point is, they're picking Volskaya. They didn't get to play Volskaya.
Let's hope it goes better than what Temple of Anubis did. They also picked Volskaya, not Rialto.
Yeah,
so we've...
Now I just don't know what world we're in.
We're
to correct myself.
We are careening through the multiverse.
The point I'm trying to make here is they should want to play a map like Volskaya Industries. This should be a map that they want to be able to go into.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll get to see why, because if they don't win this one, it'll be match point over to Talon Esports, and then that could just seal the deal.
What is worth saying as well is, Temple of Anubis was a disaster for Nova MS last night, but it was also Greenleaves' pick, luckily. So that sort of says, maybe if they had been able to pick, they would have gone to Volskaya and not failed to cap point A. Let's see if they can live up to that assumption now. It's going to be Talon starting on the defense.
Puto back on the May as we expected. Patapan sniping early, and this is just to give insurance against any possibility of firearms being run, which we did see Kerberos running yesterday as well, so... It is in that hero pool. Yon1 wants to challenge. He sees this. Okay, if you don't win here as Nova, you might not win at all.
Piggy on the Zarya is interesting. This is the first Zarya we've actually seen since 2-2-2 lock, curiously. I like the extra shielding here against the sniper and also the freeze you get out from the May, but this is at the trade-off of the pick potential of a Roadhog. This is, however, going reasonably well for Nova. Now with losing Piggy, though, and with the res coming through onto Patapan, not so much anymore.
Still can be quite difficult here for Talon Esports if they don't keep Patapan up. He already has gone down early, gets his revenge now on Kerberos. Yon1 is still going hunting currently. Yon1 is the one that Patapan really needs to be careful of.
And Yon1 is the one that really showed Patapan up just last week, so there's also maybe a bit of pride on the line here for Patapan. At any rate, it has to go 1 versus 2 against the snipers of Nova MS.
Meanwhile, Puto's the X-Factor on the ground because you can control a lot of this ground game here, especially against someone like a team on that Orisa, and also Piggy wanted to push in as well. Ting actually being killed very quickly.
That's a little bit of a rough one. Patapan was looking for the shot on Kerberos, didn't quite find it. Now Rez is there on a Ting, but I don't think that's going to last for very long, unfortunately for a Ting. And now that, ooh, that's a decent pick, but the kill on Red Fox is just so brutal there. It's going to allow Talon to have time to probably even get a Rez here on Patapan if they're lucky.
And really, Talon's focus should be on the other 5 members. Patapan, look, he's going to be able to do his best to control Kerberos, and Yonwan. Apuda will help out in that regard this time around. But if Patapan goes down, Apuda and the rest of Talon on the ground need to be able to make the trades, which is exactly what happened last time. It was a 2-for-1. Yes, they lose Patapan, but they get 2 in return. A Ting, a Red Fox, that's worth it.
Sleep was nice on Gogora in as much as it allowed Inin to get out of it, but it's been a bit rough here for Nova MS. Found a lot of members getting picked, not really being able to find many good trades in these fights, aside from the first one that Talon still ended up getting the better of anyway. And now Blizzard out from Apudo makes it hard for Nova MS to make this rotation. You saw Piggy already partially in it and the rest of the team not cut off by the Blizzard. It is, though, a 1-for-1.
And this is going to be an area where Apudo is definitely not going to get rezzed in, as Piggy does get rezzed. Yonwan controlling the space.
That's big.
Quite nicely here, almost coming out to the infra side as well, looking for Patapan once again.
Looking to have a bit of a pitched battle here as well, with both superchargers down around the point as Patapan gets the better end of the 1v1. The grab, unfortunately, not getting the mileage that Nova MS would have maybe wanted. It's hard to get that damage in against the self-sustain of the Roadhog, plus the Orisa shield when your main damage output is coming from your Orisa in that situation, and now Nova MS starting to run out of steam.
And I'll be honest, the combo does work, okay? You have a Graviton Surge. Anybody you land this on should be going down regardless of the healing, because you're also running an Ana. Inin's one of the better Anas anyway. You're throwing a Biota in there. There's no defense matrix because there isn't going to be a Diva. Meanwhile, this is happening. Patapan's killing everybody. That's happening. But Talon Esports are able to survive. They're able to work their way through the Graviton Surge. Piggy at this stage, I don't know if he wants to stay on this. Maybe he wants to go on the Hog instead, which would work a lot better. Diva is, of course, the other option to try and allow the rotations to actually happen.
Geez, maybe at this point Nova MS just want to be done with Assault altogether. Not really going much better than it did yesterday against Greenleaves. In fact, if anything, it's going worse. They feel like they've been mostly shut out from here. Not that that's unprecedented. Control was a shutout, but with only 10 seconds left on the clock and no ultimate but the Infrasight and soon to be Dragon Strike, they've got almost nothing to go on here. It's already a death on a Ting. Kerberos down before the Dragon Strike can come out as well, and that's going to be Talon making it look easy.
Ting, a last-ditch effort here. He just gets res back in. Goes down again, so does Peggy. Inin's in trouble too.
They're just not able to make any kind of headway. Not even really getting counter trades. The few kills they get, they end up getting answered back double by Talon. And once again, unable to cap the first point. Only 1/3 required here for Talon. In fact, I have a feeling on Temple of Anubis yesterday, they at least got a tick. I think they got about 50%, just not the full cap. Talon, though, this is currently on a silver platter for them.
And what you have to realize is last week, when Patapan was losing those duels to Yonwan, that was the opening. That gives Yonwan the ability to then snipe everyone else. The sightlines start opening up. But for Nova this time around, they're kind of going 50-50 with Patapan at best. But it's less than that in terms of ratio when considered they're trying to use 2 members to do that, not just 1. It's not just Yonwan, it's also Kerberos really trying to take Patapan down. They're both looking for him. Sometimes they do it, sometimes they don't. But when they're not able to, even when they are, Gogora stepping up for the side of Talon. So is Apuda. It's the other 5 members here that Patapan is able to grab the attention of 2 of the DPS on the other side, keep them busy, regardless of what that outcome is. The other 5 members of Talon can still win that game. They are still making the hooks happen. They are still finding the rest of the picks. Nova can't push in even when they kill Patapan.
So now Nova MS need to have a serious think about what they want to run on this defense. I do like this composition so far. You get a lot of crowd control options. I like the Batiste especially. Red Fox was actually one of the players we saw get a lot out of the Batiste yesterday, especially with how that amplification matrix can be utilized.
I'll say it this way, she did get a lot of ultimates, but her ultimates were not as good as the counterpart on Greenleaf. Xerafi got a lot better amplification matrices in terms of actual output, so that's one area that Red Fox still needs to be working on, and well, running out of maps to be working on things at this current state of time. Talon Esports with that first push.
Ooh, that's a lot of spam damage onto CQB and Mango Jai. Pudo pops the ice wall up kind of to the rescue, and now getting hampered in this rotation. This is nice so far from Kerberos, but it's actually Red Fox goes down to Tab. And that's unfortunate because that was the Immortality field being placed down and Red Fox not in it at the time. Now some kills though coming through for Nova MS. This is so far a 2 for 2, but that does kind of favor Talon with the closer respawn.
I'll tell you what doesn't care about an Immortality field. If you get hooked in by the Roadhog and you're out of that field, well, you're going down. And Talon now about to lean in on the respawn advantage. This kind of May versus May Ice Wall game will continue for some time, but Nova are not going to be able to reinforce as quickly as Talon, and that's something they'll be able to use, especially because now CQB has his amplification matrix available, and you can expect a lot of damage to come through soon.
And they know that they can just start getting onto the point. They know that Nova MS are only just coming to 6 members. Now Dragon Strike is going to come out here from Kerberos. But now they just got to start getting onto the point itself. They don't have any more leeway. Nice timing on the Transcendence here from in. They need to get that kill while that is running. They do get Padapan. They nearly start getting the tanks, finally finishing off Muse. That took a long time. Apudo ends up committing a Blizzard late into the mix. Mango Jai as well with a Transcendence. I wonder if that's because Mango Jai is maybe going to swap here.
I think Talon were somewhat overcommitted to that particular fight. You could see why there was a possibility of still getting the kills in there. Yomwon had a nice ice wall that locked them out as well when that Blizzard came through to make sure Talon were not going to be able to escape going into the next fight. Curious is that Talon are not that far behind. They have the same ultimates as Nova MS, minus the Dragon Strike that Kerberos also has. The time is starting to run out a little bit for Talon, but they do now have a player advantage to work with.
Massive pick. I was going to say minus the Dragon Strike, but plus the Supercharger, with a caveat being a team wasn't far off the zone, but that's not a possibility anymore. Whole Hog very early out from Piggy, largely blocked up now by Apudo's Ice Wall. Here comes the Amplification Matrix from CQB as that Ice Wall expires. Yomwon has used his already as well, doesn't have it available just yet. Piggy already down. Immortality Field will keep a couple of members alive, but it's not enough. Most of them are dying here. Transcendence from in buys them a few more seconds, but like last time, it is seconds within which they must get kills, and they're currently just not. As the members of Nova MS will fall down on the point, Talon will get the third that they needed to secure this one, and we are already at match point.
And this is the difficulty of defending in a situation where objective pressure is so high. What I mean by that is there is only one tick required by Talon to finish the game, to cap the map, to take that victory, to bring us to the 2-0 lead at match point that they currently have. So when the superchargers come through, when the amplification matrices come through, you can't just run away and hide. You can't afford to give away a tick to say, okay, we're going to let the ultimates go away, we'll come back and fight. That's what Talon can do. That's exactly what you saw once the whole hog came through from Piggy, back around the corner. Got to wait this one out. Amplification matrix, wait this one out. When they use it, Nova have to respond. You want to respond, you're eating a ton of damage.
You're right in the line of fire, and you don't have any other choices. That's the really unfortunate thing. I mean, the thing that's incredible about this as well is, like, on the flip side of that, Temple of Anubis at least actually went the other way, right? In as much as A got capped by Greenleaves, who attacked first, and then they didn't cap B. It wasn't that same situation of, you know, they failed to cap A. This is Nova MS, I mean, failing to cap A and then having like this really fraught defense that you ultimately fail. Like, they actually had a successful defense on B at least, and the defense on A was reasonable as well. They got a lot of time off the clock. This is like, even though the ending scoreline ends up being the same, in terms of the actual result, in terms of the actual gameplay itself, this is a far worse result here for Nova MS because it's a shutout in every sense of the word. The only way this could be more one-sided is if Talon capped on their first push.
Which almost came to be as well.
Nearly.
You know, that could have been happening, and so you'll say, okay, it's not... By that metric, it's not going to be a 100-0. It might be a 100-50. Either way, they're going to walk away fairly clean. They haven't given away a single point. That's important to note. Across both Busan and now also Volsky Industries, there has not been a single point capped by Nova MS over 2 maps now. They're running out of space. Said this earlier, but it's first to 3. Guess what? 2's already on the board. Only room for 1 more.
And by the way, that includes not even a single percentage point on Busan. This is an incredibly favorable series right now for Talon. As we somewhat expected, we did say Nova MS will probably be their biggest challenge so far, especially in the context of these playoffs. We don't know exactly what the other semifinals can look like. We could have a really hot contender emerge from that, but at the end of the day, like, this is just the caliber of Talon right now. They are so far above and beyond, it feels, the rest of the competition.
Let's not be like me and write it on the ink, put the ink to paper just yet. I put the 3-0 down early. We'll see if Nova can change my mind just a little bit here. We'll be taking a bit of a halftime break, give Nova a bit of space to work with, and when we come back, map number 3, right after this.